Hello again everyone, Jared from Project Killjoy. This week, I've been playing No Man's Sky, a survival/exploration game produced by the indie studio Hello Games. Available on PC and PlayStation 4, this game is set in a massive, procedurally generated universe with over 18 quintillion planets. That's more than 180 times the size of the Milky Way galaxy. Each of these planets is massive. An entire video game could take place on just one of them. That's not even all. There are so many mind-blowing facts about this game that we made an entire video about it. Click here or check out the link in the description. So, an exploration and survival game set in a massive world that I can never fully explore, with more randomly generated animals and terrain than I could ever imagine? Sign me the fuck up, right? Not quite. As per usual, I have a few problems with the game. As you'll see in a later video, I was extremely disappointed with the game upon release. However, since then, I have played a lot more of the game, and it's really started to grow on me. I'm still fucking annoyed, though. Not only does the game have its share of content problems, it's got a lot of glitches. My personal favorite is falling through the ground of a planet that has high levels of radiation, so there's nothing I can do as I watch my character die slowly. If I wanted to be bored and dying of cancer at the same time, I'd play Fallout 3. Also, my character seems to be a ghost because several times I attempted to land on a space station and just phased right through the fucking walls like I'm Tom Hanks in Interstellar. At least the black hole I flew into didn't make me communicate via a broken pocket watch. Instead, it spit me further away from my objective than I was before, even though it was supposed to be a shortcut, as if this game isn't fucking big enough. However, these problems will probably be fixed with time, and are merely chipped paint on an otherwise semi-functional game. My real issue with the game is the pacing. The game starts you off with a broken pile of shit spaceship that you have to try and fix. This was made infinitely easier, as I pre-ordered the game and was given the ship from Star Fox Zero, which saved me a lot of time. But even with a working hyperdrive, the game didn't open up much. I still had to spend several hours learning how to make antimatter and warp cells to power up my hyperdrive. Once you learn how to make antimatter, the game opens up a lot. But the problem is, you've already played the game for like 5 hours at this point, and you're probably pretty fucking annoyed of fighting Sentinels over chunks of plutonium, so odds are, you might be put off by MacBook Screensaver Simulator 2016 before it becomes somewhat more interesting. The story, if it can be called that, is so understated I literally can't even tell if there is supposed to be a story yet. It seems to be an undercurrent of 3 or 4 different species of aliens. It would probably make a lot more sense if I could understand any of it. Oh yeah, did I mention that you can't understand any of the alien languages and need to run around smashing your face into big purple stones to learn the 3 different languages, one word at a time? Fuck that! But by far, the most annoying thing in the gameplay are the journey milestones. They always manage to come up at the most inconvenient time so as to get me killed. I'll be fighting a giant battle against 4 enemy starships, and a massive notification takes up all of my screen, rewarding me for traveling some arbitrary distance. All the while, the pirates continue to blow me out of the sky, and I can't see anything. For fuck's sake, guys, at least give me a trophy. The journey milestones are not only annoying, they're useless. They don't seem to really add anything to the game, other than to remind me that I'm doing a lot of things, but haven't been able to make any discernible progress in the actual story. Congratulations, you spent 600 million units on useless elements. Congratulations, you've spoken with 32 NPCs. Congratulations, you've walked further than you ever will in your entire life. That's great, fellas, but would you mind telling me how much actual progress I've made in the game? What's that? I couldn't hear you over the procedurally generated sounds of all the money I'm making. Speaking of money, that's one of the worst things about this game. No Man's Sky is $60. And while it's a massive game with a lot of world to explore, to me it seems to lack enough diverse gameplay elements to really warrant a full AAA title price. The reason for this high price is because of Sony's involvement. By keeping the marketing for the game vague and mysterious, releasing no review copies, and having no betas or alphas, and no more than a few minutes of gameplay at E3 and in some trailers, no one was really sure what this game was going to be. All we knew is that it sounded fucking amazing. So of course everyone forked over their $60, only to be slightly let down by how much it feels like a walking simulator with a few RPG elements. Despite all of this, the game is still a solid game, and one I will spend a lot of time playing. However, there is one elephant in the room that I cannot look over, and it is the one thing that is keeping this game from being the greatest game I have ever played. No Man's Sky is an online game. It runs on one server, and players can, hypothetically, meet each other. This is the point of being able to discover and name new planets and species if you are the first one to see them. The problem is that the universe is so big that statistically speaking, the chance of two players finding each other is essentially zero. So here's my question. Why even make it online then? I don't see the purpose of naming my planets and animals if Jared's wank isn't going to be found by anyone else. The purpose of calling a planet Trump's little dick fingers is so that other space travelers can see and appreciate it, and my gamertag will forever live on in glory and awe. The worst part of it is, two players have already crossed paths by sheer luck, and they were invisible to each other. The developers banked on two players never meeting and just didn't make a fucking model for the player character? The amount of fucking laziness in that single decision almost warrants a video in itself. Also, there is no mechanic for being able to play with friends, even for a temporary amount of time. The game is good on its own, but being able to play with even one friend would make the game infinitely more fun. The number of shenanigans that can be had in a practically infinite universe is somewhat crushed by the lack of friends to do them with. Playing No Man's Sky is sobering. The game is so overwhelming, and the realization that you are completely alone, with almost no chance of finding anyone else no matter how long you play the game, is somewhat humbling and kind of depressing. The gorgeous views that can be seen throughout the entirety of the game are stark and bleak when beheld alone. Willie said something yesterday that perfectly sums up this game. This game is a mile wide, but an inch deep. This game is so close to being one of the most phenomenal games in the history of gaming that the fact that it isn't is pissing me off. I can see the glory that could have been No Man's Sky. My fingertips are brushing up against pure genius, but I can't reach it. This is one of the most hyped games I've ever seen, and it was so close to living up to that hype. But the lack of several key features and some programming bugs are holding this game back from pure, unadulterated perfection.
That's the wrong number.